Don't judge, don't assume, instead come to understand. And the virtue that's associated with this is being open-minded. Well, if you've done the work in principle number 1, and you've spent time looking in that mirror and understanding who you are, this sets you up perfectly for being more open-minded to what's going on for other people. And what we're really talking about here is seeking to understand and coming from a different place of trying to, at the very least, whether you feel like someone's behavior is warranted or it's not, it's about giving them the benefit of the doubt that they had the best of intentions when they woke up in the morning. Okay, so what we're talking about here is we believe that people have positive intentions for the most part. There are those that maybe that do want to mess up that day, but for the most part, people get out of bed and they come to work with the best of intentions to do a good job. They're not saying in general, I think I'll go in and make my boss's day as difficult as I possibly can. Now, reality says they do sometimes, right? Even though they didn't intend to do that, they do. So their behaviors don't match up with their intentions. But if I can take that sort of personal affront out of it, which is often what happens, I get offended, I get upset, I get frustrated, I get angry, I get judgmental about someone when they do behave in a way that wasn't in accordance with those positive intentions that they had. So what we're suggesting is that perhaps you work on a way to suspend that judgment. And when you recognize that you're in judgment, you set that aside for a minute and you begin to look at things from other angles and say, okay, this is how I'm feeling. Very clearly I'm upset or I'm frustrated with this person. How is that going to serve me in trying to come at a solution to this? And many times you'll find that it's not the best place to come from. So if it's not, what would be a better way to approach it? So sometimes it's stopping, taking a breath, and thinking that through. I do a good bit of work with an organization. They're a large organization in the transportation industry, and Steinbrecher and Associates sends teams of people all over the country to work with their 3,000 plus managers. And one of the dynamics at play, very, very interesting, is going on. A lot of judgment is happening. We have members of management sitting in the room, and again, the generation mix is going on. And so due to the cycle of hiring within this organization, they had some growth, hired about 30 years ago. And then they, for a while, were pretty stagnant, or just the growth slowed down to a level where they didn't hire very much. And then, boom, recently, hire. So what we see happening in the management ranks is you've either got people that have 2 to 10 years of experience, or you've got people that have 30 to 40 years of experience. And that is an interesting dynamic, because what we see happening is a lot of crossed arms and not talking to each other and not sharing ideas, because you have on the one side, sitting in judgment, a perspective of he doesn't want to hear what I have to say. They don't care about the knowledge that I have. All they care about is what they learned in school and brought here. And then on the other side of things, you have he thinks that I don't have anything to bring to the table. I do have an education. I do have experience. It might look different than that 38 years of experience looking at me across the table, but I have something to offer too. And so what we find is this sort of clash happening, because both sides are sitting in judgment. And literally, when courageous conversations are not happening and people are not working to bridge that gap, in this organization, these are safety. The people are from the core of safety engineers. And so when that doesn't happen, it's potentially lives, really literally lives. So again, suspending judgment And having conversation and seeking to understand is really the place to come from. And that's what we're suggesting with this principle. First, you have to open your mind before you can really get there.